I welcome the high-level delegation of Lithuania, headed by Ms. Rita Grigaliene, the Vice Minister of Social Security and Labour. We do value the fact that the delegation of the State Party is co-led by Laurinas Šedvydis, the chairman of the Human Rights Committee of the Parliament of the Republic of Lithuania, Seimas. As an Estonian myself, I am happy to have a conversation with our Baltic sibling, Lithuania. I would like to begin by noting that overall, gender equality in Lithuania is improving. Hereby, we are pleased to note that the progress made within the last 5 years, since 2020, Lithuanian gender equality score has increased by 7 points, mainly thanks to the improvement in the domain of power and in the domain of money. I sincerely congratulate you that you have a highly respectful institution in the capital Vilnius, European Institute of Gender Equality, EIGE. Among the positive developments, I would like to highlight the amendments made to the law on equal opportunities in 2022, introducing legal regulation regarding harassment in several provisions, and the provisions of topical training for judges, police officers, and civil servants, as well as improvements in the accessibility of justice systems, including draft amendments to the Civil Code aimed at strengthening access to justice. I also praise your commitment to assisting female migrants, especially Ukrainian women and girls. The UN CEDAW Committee, as a watchdog of the Convention, is extremely firm as far as Articles 1 and 2 are concerned. States parties must enshrine the principle of non-discrimination in law and turn their attention to both direct and indirect discrimination in their scrutiny of domestic law. States are required to protect women's rights by addressing prevailing gender relations and the persistence of gender-based stereotypes that affect women. The State Party has been asked to undertake efforts to address gender stereotypes and intersecting forms of discrimination against women based on age, disability, migrant status, or other grounds. However, these measures have not yet been implemented. I mentioned EIGE. Lithuania continues to rank below the EU average in the Gender Equality Index. A key issue I would particularly like to highlight is the limited scope of gender equality indicators and the lack of an intersectional approach to data collection. The data that are available are really disaggregated by ethnicity, disability, or other relevant characteristics, and the systematic data collection on cases invoking the Convention remains limited. As we heard from the opening remarks, there are foreseen positive changes in this respect starting next year. Legal protection against intersectional discrimination requires further attention, and gender reassignment is not explicitly recognized as gender-based discrimination. Access to justice remains constrained for disadvantaged or marginalized groups, including women and girls with disabilities under guardianship. Additionally, greater attention is needed to the integration to CEDAW into legal education and professional training. And now a serious concern. I am really surprised. What is the reason that the Istanbul Convention remains unratified in Lithuania? The European Union as a whole is part of the Istanbul Convention of the Council of Europe. Why not member state Lithuania? To conclude, the states must fulfill their obligations by adopting effective measures aimed at the de facto position of women. Our UN CEDAW Committee position is clearly stated in our General Recommendation 28 that policies should be action and results oriented. In light of this, I would like to raise 5 questions of consideration. Number 1. What measures are planned to address the remaining legislative gaps, namely legislation explicitly protecting women from intersecting forms of discrimination and legal definition for the concepts of gender and sex? 2. What specific steps have been taken to raise awareness among women of the remedies available to claim violations of their rights under the Convention? 3. What monitoring or accountability mechanisms are in place to ensure the consistent application of CEDAW principles across the justice system? 4. What what progress has been made on the civil code amendments aimed at abolishing the institute of full legal incapacity. And finally, number 5, what progress has been made toward ratifying the Istanbul Convention. Altogether, I want to thank the State Party for their input, and I look forward to a successful discussion. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you very much, Mrs. Mikko.